Zeidoktor here, and this episode of Typical Manga Review is dedicated to One Piece, Chapter 868, KX Launcher. Our cover story here is Cavendish finishing his story to Suleiman, and apparently the whole reason we were hearing about his backstory in the first place was to explain that the ships pursuing them, decorated in bows, marry me sailors, heart-eyed skull and crossbones, and I love Cavendish flags, are actually not threats and thus do not need to be fired upon. Suleiman's mostly just annoyed that this explaining that took so long. And yeah, I only just saw the bows just now. But yeah, like cat ship and a bird ship. Bird ship's got flowers on it. I've only a couple of these details I caught early, but some of them are like I'm only seeing now. But nice little punchline to that. We get some Otobox narration here. 63 years ago, the disappearance of Mother Carmel and the little children. Hey, that's a little weirdly phrased, but that's manga thing. What do you do? I'll get some minis box up when I'm doing this. Unbeknownst to even Big Mom herself, there were some that saw the whole incident unfold before their eyes. 2, to be exact. One was someone that cared a great deal about the House of Lambs, and was dropping by for a visit, a warrior of Elbaf. Horrified by what he saw, he ran off, and never again set foot on that island. Like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm out! Nope. So much nope. Goes on to explain that the story eventually reaches all the giants of Elbaf. We even get like a little, we even get like Beardtail visiting the grave of the others, and what someone pointed out were like looked like the helmets of Brogy and Dory. So it makes them wonder if they were kind of honoring those guys too. But eventually the stories of reached the ears of Elbaf itself and the rest of the giant race, and Charlotte Linland grew to be so hated by the giants that they refrained from even saying her name. The other witness was the chef of a collapsed pirate crew who had since settled on this island. His name was Strusen. But you didn't expect him to be a bigger player than this. Even in the prison, he's just Big Mom's old head chef. But he saw Big Mom eat her family, and he found it hilarious. He then starts chopping up a log, and it actually kind of turns into meat while he does so. Because apparently he has the cook fruit. His ability allows him to change various things in the world into ingredients. Toriko would love this guy. And as he's kind of eating a meal for himself, like, if I leave her alone, she'll die on her own. That would be such a waste. So he goes up to little Linland's like, young ladies, why don't we have a chat with me about your dreams? Who are you? Do you know who Mother is? Do you know where Mother is? Hey, whoa, don't come too close there, Biddy. Like, she'll probably turn while we chat. Just stay with me till then. I won't let you go hungry. And it explained that the two who met back then built what is now known as the Big Mom Pirates. And we see present-day Strusen calling out to Linland to get her to come back to her senses or she's going to get shot. Meanwhile, Capone and his men are got their rocket launchers, recalling the circumstances they needed, but with Big Mom weakened in over 5 seconds, no one will be able to move. In that time, they fire off their rockets. And Big Mom thinks that everyone's getting in her way. Everybody's covering their ears or watching the blast go off. Like we've got Katakuri, Smoothie, Oven, the Sanji team with Nami and Garrett, Paris Bro, Luffy, Brook, Jinbei, and Pedro, Pudding, Mont'Or, and I'm not sure what that is behind him. Anyway, we see some Big Mom flashing back. Apparently, Mother Carmel talked about let's make this place our country, a country of dreams where everyone will be able to live as equal. A country, that's right, a country where everyone will be able to see eye to eye without any discrimination between races. So Big Mom was thinking, eye to eye, how wonderful! It'll be like everyone becomes big, because she's taking that very literally. And she's imagining Mother Carmel and the other kids all the same size as her. If only there were a lot of countries like this, the world could become more peaceful and everyone would be able to live happily. This is her memory of Mother Carmel. And Susan's hearing this dream from her. It's like, that's your dream? That's right. I'm going to create a country that'll make Mother happy. And she also discovers that she can do Mother's magic tricks. How come I can do it too? Which surprises Susan. Like, is that a devil fruit power? Like, alright, Linlin, why don't we create one day in a country of dreams? And then we get a little montage of Charlotte Linlin. It's supposed to say Rinrin, but her introduction at the start of Whole Cake Island said Linlin. So, I'm going to say Linlin is what they also use in official English, so I'm going to use that till further notice. Anywho, like we see a picture of little Linlin, like 50 million for a child. Then there's reports from Cypherpole about her, and then we see an older Linlin at 500 million. And we see her terrorizing people, like holding a big king or prince in her hand, like declaring, "Bring me sweets. If you do, I'll make a promise." She's got Prometheus and Zeus above her. To bring peace and a country of dreams. You listen to what I say, everyone will definitely live happily. Those who don't listen are selfish, so I'll have to kill you. And she's thinking to herself that one day she'll make everyone big. So let's gather around the table again when that happens. But there are still people who won't listen to me. I'm so sad my tears won't stop because they broke the only picture I have of Mother. Unforgivable. I won't forgive the Straw Hat Pirates. And at this point she screams again, but this time it causes the rockets to explode before they hit her. Which leaves Capone and his gang like, oh shit. They're just gaping. And the wailing continues, but now the Big Mouth Pirates are starting to recover. Like Katakuri, like creating a bunch of little mochi bubble balls. Everyone's just kind of, our guys are kind of freaking out. Okay. I wasn't quite sure what that was about at first, but now I get it. Like he's creating little mochi balls and giving them to everybody to use as earplugs so they can act in the midst of the screaming. At this point, Capone declares that the plan has failed. Get the fudge out. And then at this point, Caesar Clown decides to fly in with the escape mirror. Once we're done, everyone, like we're kind of getting the recap of the meeting. Like everyone who can, since Caesar can fly, he'll jump in with the escape mirror. Once we're done, everyone to jump into Caesar's mirror as fast as you can. And Caesar's seen what's happened, but either way, it's his turn to act. And it's like he's more mad about Big Mom destroying her launchers than his launchers than anything. But that's kind of what you get when you rely on Caesar Clown-made technology. At this point, Caesar's calling everyone to retreat into the mirror. The Seer wind pressure, Big Mom's scream, is pushing him back. And then, as I'm sure many have been predicting, it shatters the mirror. And that's like, now everybody's just screwed so bad. Like, we see Caesar, Baze, Luffy, Nami, Chopper, even Zimmer, like, what? Even the Caesar and the minions like, no. And they're on the roof of the building, so there is nowhere to run. And they cannot win this fight. They see, like, the big, now plugged Big Mouth Pirates coming after them. At this point, Capone calls on his big move. Says he like Rook in Voller Gross, Big Father. And at this point, Capone becomes the castle. Like literally, it's like a big honking castle. Like imagine if Wapol ate a castle. That's what you're looking at here. Like you can see his face, the cigar, and the expression and all in there. And that is where the chapter ends. I like the fact that they leave room for it possibly being something else besides Charlotte Linlin eating her family. But it's pretty much the implication here. I feel the details I didn't catch the first time, like such as Katakuri giving them earplugs. So that's cool. I think there's a little flashback of young Frickley Linlin, like with the king or prince or whatever in their hands, like, do what I say and everyone will be happy. If you don't listen, you're selfish, I'm gonna kill ya. I think that about sums up her modus operandi right then and there. One thought I don't know if I mentioned this before here, but one thought I've had about this whole thing with Big Mom, like given how, yeah, I'm pretty sure I think I mentioned this last week, but I'll say it again. Like, given how she apparently ate all the kids who people thought were possibly the past versions of our present day people, I wonder now if Big Mom um, just has a really strict dress code and nobody has the nerve to tell her no. Like you're gonna be this kid. You're gonna dress like this. You, Juicy, you're gonna be like this. You're wearing the panda hood. But I don't want to wear the panda hood or life. Hood. Hood, please. And we get some great expressions off of Baze here. Just like if all our guys are just freaking out because their plan is pretty much predictably gone up in smoke. I don't think anybody expected anything Caesar made to be successful. For a creator of weapons of mass destruction, he has a horrible mortality rate, fatality rate. And this looks like we're at the end of Cavendish's role with the cover story. I'm wondering who will come next. I'm thinking it's probably going to come in the order that they announced themselves as the captains of Luffy's fleet. Trying to remember who's number 2 in that case, though. Let's see here. Try Grand Fleet. Given this, maybe. Let's see. Trying to find that here real quick here. Well, I'm waiting for that to pop up. Yeah. Like I said, I do like the fact that they actually made Struzan a lot more important. And at first, I just assumed he was just using Lin Lin, but now I kind of wonder, like, did they actually have a pretty strong bond with each other? Like, how close are they really? I mean, they've been together for a long time, like 60 odd years. One thing's certain, like things have. I wonder like how easily they'll be able to get through Capone Castle. It's actually a pretty awesome move when you stop and think about it. Like, I almost wonder if the Castle Calcifer now is considered a Logia. But I doubt it. He's almost certainly like a Parametia because that's pretty much everything that's not Logia or Zone. But still, kind of funny to see. Let's see here. It's also like Big Mom is so powerful that she has pretty much wrecked their plans by literally like being out of her mind with rage. That's pretty crazy right there. I do love the look of Capone Castle though. It's like, cause like I said, it took me a while, but you can see his face like right in there, and cans and things too. I think so. It's actually pretty awesome. Right. Okay, Bartolomeo was the number 2 then. Okay, so it is that they were listed by number where I saw before. So Cavendish is done here. So probably next time will be Bartolomeo. We'll get a few weeks of that, and then from there it looks like it'll be Sai. Then Hideo and his guys, the Martial Arts Alliance, Leo, Harudin, and Orlumbus. One thing I wonder as well is like, what will we see of Elbaf, or what will Harudin think when he hears about this whole thing with Luffy and Big Mom? Because the Giants in general, and him in particular, like have a particular beef with her. Because I imagine like, because the Elbaf's would have been kind of the thing for Usopp, but now I wonder now they're going to be excited to hear about Luffy because he's done all this with Big Mom. Actually, one thing I began to wonder about with Elbaf, like with Harudin, like talking about like how the prize needs to be like dropping. I wonder if it occurred to me that we haven't seen anybody from Elbaf except for Harudin who hasn't been there in like every giant we've seen except for Harudin has been away from Elbaf for decades. I wonder if anything may have happened to the place since then. think at this point I'm going to go ahead and call the review here. So we got some neat stuff like a cool thing with the Father Castle. So I'm going to call the review here. That's been One Piece, chapter 868. Yep. KX Launcher, which performed about as well as everything else Caesar Made does. Until next week, see you then, and bye-bye.